What's up, you nerds? Welcome back to Yellow Spandex. This week we talk about all kinds of crazy stuff like the new Mulan movie and Disney Plus. And then Mortal Kombat has their new movie news, and I think they're done filming, and there's a lot of things we talked about it. Also, with Mortal Kombat news, MK11 drops the Joker trailer, and we'll probably talk about a little bit of that next week as well. Stargirl, this is weird. Stargirl DC show, but then there's also this like Disney movie called Stargirl. So we go through that. We watch the trailers. A little more Crisis on Infinite Earth crossover talk, as well as Green Lantern series coming to HBO. Watchmen. We talked about Watchmen a little bit, and then Josh showed us George Lucas. His picture with Baby Yoda, and then his picture with like Disney when he sold. That's so funny. And then we ended with a little bit of Falcon and Winter Soldier filming, and U.S. Agent being a part of that. So I hope you guys really enjoy what's going on this episode on Yellow Spandex. Go ahead, check it out right now.
Like Shenzhen, they'll do it like next month. They might be a stuffed animal company.
Meh.
It's just whatever is profitable at the time.
So it's kind of like what's the company that did all the Ninja Turtles toys or whatever.
Yeah, like we've had like microphones sent to us from companies, and then a month later they're like, we're doing dildos now.
Oh god.
You know, so like you want one of those? And we're like, nah, I'm fine. But like
you want some stuff, some swag.
They just switched to whatever's that's what Nintendo is.
Yeah.
It went from a paper company to video games.
Yeah, they were doing like cards. Mm-hmm. And so So sorry guys, we were talking about we jumped in here. We were talking about NAMM stuff. We went to NAMM, which is like all the cool new music stuff every year, and it's giant.
Except it stayed the same for 3 years.
Yeah, exactly. It didn't really change. We've been there every year. But I was specifically looking for new podcasting stuff, just to see if there's anything cool out there. I was hoping to get some mic stands or some new microphones or something. Because it takes a little bit to get this thing done every week. Hope you guys appreciate it.
Yeah. I didn't even know we were rolling, y'all.
I just figured we'd start.
It was funny before the podcast was starting. I guess while we have the subjects kind of coming up here. Long story short, like some people know I write some music scripts for like other YouTube channels, and so there's a big one coming out with a really big channel about the music of Mulan. So when I spent like the last few months like rewatching it, listening to this one particular song hundreds of times, and then I was like, I want to watch Mulan because I finally finished the script. And I was telling these guys off mic, like I started watching it. I was like, you know what? I don't want to like spend the next hour and a half with this, even though I want to watch it. I bookmarked it. I was like, I'll look up the making of, and it was hosted by like 1998 Ming-Na Wen, who is exactly the same as 2020.
She doesn't age. She's like a vampire,
except for her outfit and the soft lighting, like that like soap opera look. It. And like really slow paced talking. I noticed that with every interview. It's like whoever's directing is like speak very slowly and enunciate, almost like you're talking to. It's interesting. There's this whole vibe of like 90s interview videos. Anyway,
we're used to like the YouTube thing where like as much and fast as you can. We don't want people to lose any kind of interest. Just keep going.
It's almost the opposite of that. This is almost ASMR. She's like, "Hi, my name is Ming-Na Wen." It's almost like an NPR thing. Well, it wasn't boring. It was just like this tone, She's like, and the gentle culture of the. It was interesting. I mean, it was reminding me of like stuff I saw in that time period. But anyway, I watched that and then was reminded that Christina Aguilera's career got like started
from that. Yeah.
From that, like I mean, I guess technically she was a Mickey Mouse Club before, but that was a song that really like blew her up. And then like looking at that music video and being like. If you haven't watched a Reflection music video in a while, it's not officially on YouTube, but there's a lot of re-uploads of it. Mm-hmm. It's just like they got this, I don't know how old she was at the time, 15, 16 or something like that. At least. And like it's like they just took her to Epcot and like, let's just go to all the Asian villages. And
here, white girl.
And yeah, and then just have you like sing in front of them. I mean, and then intercut like it wasn't bad. It was just like, wow, like how far we've all come. Christina, and except for Ming-Na Wen, she has come far, but she's somehow a vampire. She's stayed the same.
Yeah.
But anyway, all that to say, like, I'm excited for the Mulan movie.
She's got to be 55 at least.
Probably. I don't know how. Like, or still 30 somehow. I'm not sure. Like,
because even like when in the first season of like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., she's like doing some stuff with I can't remember the bad guy that was like supposed used to be a good guy. I can't remember his name.
Oh yeah,
I can't remember his name anymore. He's only Ward. There you go. I think his name is Brett Dalton for real. But
yeah.
And I was like, I don't know. I'm pretty positive she's a lot older than him.
Yeah.
And like, well, you can't tell it all.
Nah. It's movie
Wait,
or TV
see, I'm
magic.
trying to do some math here. 2020. She's 57.
All right.
Or 56,
bad.
57, depending on when I don't know when her birthday is. But, oh, no. So she'll be 57 this year.
She'll be 57, and Brett Dalton is literally a year younger than I am. So
Wow.
37.
Jeez.
57 to 37. 27 years or 20 years.
Yeah, that's a gap.
I mean, hey, whatever.
Good,
but
for, good for her.
Exactly. Good for him.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, both of them. But the it was funny because in the Mulan not interview, she was hosting like behind the scenes. She's like, and it means so much because my children are like now old enough to like watch TV. I'm like, how old were you when this thing was filmed?
Yeah.
Now our kids have to be like the age she was.
I was
When that
really,
came, you know.
I was really hoping that she would be the mom in the Mulan movie.
There has to be some callback to her in there.
You'd
I
think.
I don't know how that's going to play out because they've already, like, I guess they've said it's not going to be musical.
Yeah.
But when you watch the trailers, there's that big, like, orchestral version of Reflection.
Yeah.
So even if that's just it, then it's like, okay,
There's
so
not
there's
going to be any music in it?
well, I don't know. I mean, I'm guessing they're not going to do like a girl worth fighting for,
Be
you know?
your man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hint, that might have been what I wrote about. It's yeah. Well, that song is funny. I won't spoil too much about it. When you guys, we'll mention it on here whenever the video does come out. It's a really big channel. I initially went into it like, okay, everybody loves that song. I was like, this is not how I remember it. And then I was like, is this not a 2020 song? And then I got more into it. It's like, nah, it's still really lovable because like he's Shang is like he means well. He just got kind of outdated thoughts, which is really progressive for 1998, and also bridges between like Eastern and Western, like you know, like ideals or whatever and stuff. But I think that song would still like work. But I guess more the aesthetic of the film, like just how we see like the battles and stuff. I can't see them just breaking in the middle of the battle to be like, "Be a man," like you know, like and. But it would be a shame if they didn't have callbacks to like all the like the which are like the tent poles
The
from
original characters.
because like
Eddie Murphy's going to be in it?
yeah,
Mushu is not in the movie.
What?
I would not be mad though if like
I'm mad now.
Mufasa Mushu from the clouds comes down and it's just Eddie Murphy. He's like, listen, Mulan, you get off your ass.
Man, I told you I'd be in this movie.
Just and that's it or something. I don't know. But we'll see.
I'm trying to think of where else they did that. Because it's a live action. Is there other instances of live action Disney movies where they had to like omit characters because of certain reasons? I can't think of any right now.
I don't know. I don't know the original story.
Because even
either, so.
Apu was still in the live action Aladdin.
Yeah. So maybe this is like, we're going to be as serious as possible.
I don't know. Well, so I might be wrong because I haven't read a whole lot about it. But what it looked like from the trailers was they went with the original like Mulan legend, which is kind of like you know China's version of like a Cinderella or Snow White, or like not Snow White, like Cinderella, like just like old story, you know, that's like very well known.
Yeah.
Old lore.
So like it may pay more respects to that than the original. I don't know, you know.
Yeah.
Because like Mushu is definitely like one of the we need something to sell to kids kind of
Yeah, absolutely.
thing. Also,
Well, it's also
comedy
funny,
relief
yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah, toy.
Also,
lines.
how do we get Eddie Murphy in this?
Exactly. You got the
I forgot-
cricket and you got Mushu.
I forgot that Harvey Fierstein was in this. Remember him?
Is he the main?
No,
old-
he's like
God thing?
he's like the little the guy with the black eye. Whole time he's
Oh,
like really
yeah,
feisty.
yeah.
Like
He's funny.
He's somehow still like a sassy Jewish person in like a little Chinese man's body. Like, but I think it works. I don't know. It was interesting.
He was definitely one of my favorite characters from that movie.
But anyways, that was a little Mulan tangent. But
He was in Birdcage, right?
this might be the first besides Jungle Book of the live action remakes that's actually good, and mostly because I don't think it's actually going to be a remake.
Yeah, if what you're saying is true, it's more like the original legend. I mean, I'd be more interested in seeing something like that rather than a remake. You know, I just don't. I feel like Disney's like, yay, let's just keep shoveling money.
It's like a I don't know there's a pros and cons. You know, like the cons they're kind of like ruining our memories of it.
Yeah.
But the pros are like it's kind of like appealing to kids now, and I know like a lot of kids still would watch the original cartoons. And
No,
stuff
their
just as
parents are all
entertainment.
into it. I know there's so many like moms that are like my age on my Facebook. They're like, Disney, 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 Disney. We're going to Disneyland again. And like, oh, geez, dude, settle down.
I know like the psychology of like, not, I don't want to even say most children, just like, I guess the thinking out there is that like, if it's not flashy and shiny, like kids won't pay attention to it, you know?
Yeah.
So maybe they're just like, well, if we have Aladdin with Will Smith, the kids will like it, you know?
So I feel like kids see through crap. Like we think that we need like 4K and all this other crap. And my kids watch VHS. And they enjoyed the original Ninja Turtles movie, which my wife was sitting there. We were watching it the other day. She's just sitting there making fun of it. And I'm like, shut up! You watch Murder She Wrote. Let me enjoy something.
Well, that's the thing. Everybody's got their thing, you know.
Oh crap!
So like my kids just they don't care. They don't care about quality. They don't care if it's like a regular cartoon, whether it's a CG cartoon. They don't care about that as long as the story is good.
Yeah, I guess it's the idea of like they have to be able to have a reason to like re-hype something.
Yeah.
And just doing a re-release probably wouldn't have the same like impact for I don't know. I'm not trying to defend it because I don't like most of the live action remakes.
Well, I feel like it's kind of like we can't do the Disney vault anymore. So why don't we just recreate them?
It's kind of Well, also like I noticed on Disney Plus they are kind of doing the out of the vault
They start doing it,
thing, but there's still a lot of stuff that's in the vault.
I see things popping and going off. Like, was it the Home Alone you said last time?
Well, Home Alone wasn't a vault. I think that's like a Netflix deal or something.
Is it?
That they must have gotten some temporary.
Well, I know things have gone already, and it's only been a few months, and I'm like, oh come on, man. I'm like, and I actually canceled Disney Plus because I was like,
oh really?
Yeah, we watched a bunch of stuff. Ari's gonna finish up watching Gargoyles, and then that's it.
So I actually randomly got on there the other day, and I was waiting for something to finish up. And I stuck with this way too long, but I watched Big Hero 6 for the first time. That was quite entertaining.
That's weird that you didn't see that.
No.
That was 3 years ago? Easy.
2014.
Yeah. 4. Almost 5.
Yeah. Have you guys?
Oh, wait, almost 6.
Have you seen it?
No, we saw it when it came out.
I showed Vince a little
Did you
bit
stay
of it.
afterwards? Or
Yes.
did you watch after credits?
Watched it. Yeah, with the dad.
With Stanley?
And then have you watched the TV show?
I haven't seen the TV show.
So I started watching the TV show because it was recommended right next.
Yeah.
They literally, the first episode, it's all like not hand, it was like 2D animated
Yeah.
to the 3D. They recreated the last moments, like the last 20 minutes of the movie for the first episode.
That's cool.
And then the second episode continues from there of like kind of what happened. It's stuff. So I've only gotten those 2 episodes and I'm like, oh, I can see this working pretty well. And a lot of the same voice cast came back.
Yeah,
like Baymax.
Tangled was the same way.
Oh, yeah.
Tangled has like a 2D animated. The girls loved that. Actually, I think they just finished that. They have 3 seasons of it, and it has Mandy Moore, and it has Zachary Levi in it. So
I know, I forgot I was watching some commentary YouTube channel, and they pointed out how good the Aladdin TV series was.
yes,
They said also how, like, not on purpose, like, accidentally progressive it was. Because every Disney movie has, like, the prince and princess have their happy ending.
yeah,
This actually showed Aladdin and Jasmine's relationship.
yeah. It gave
After the
more
fact.
time to kind of figure it out.
Well, yeah, they had their ups and their downs and stuff, and I don't remember a whole lot of it, so I can't speak for.
Yeah, I don't remember anything of it,
But
but I remember us watching it definitely.
I remember like a couple episodes where they were fighting, so you got to see after the happily ever after
Yep.
they fought, and then one where like Jasmine got turned into a snake, and then Aladdin still stuck with her, and it was
I
wild.
don't remember that stuff.
It's weird.
Anyway, so it was my little Disney corner. So like unexpectedly like dove into that this week.
Yeah, seriously.
So what do we got on?
Oh man,
Docket
we
today?
got a lot of stuff again. I don't know. I feel like things just aren't stopping. You know, like
It's like the end of January. So.
yeah, it's only January. You figured like January would be like a slow time or whatever. That's why I was like, hey, we could talk about Star Wars. It screws talking about Star Wars again because we got lots of stuff to talk about.
Oh yeah, a couple Mortal Kombat things.
Oh yeah, didn't you? The movie stuff. Didn't they say they were also doing an animated movie?
Yeah, so there's the animated short that nobody knows anything about besides that Joel McHale's going to be Johnny Cage, which is perfect.
Is that what it's called? Is this,
Mortal Kombat Legends Scorpion's Revenge,
That's a long name.
which implies that if this does well, there will be more Mortal Kombat Legends,
Right.
something else. We don't know anything about the animation style. Just that it's going to come out in the first half of 2020.
Joel McHale and Jennifer Carpenter will headline the new movie as the voices behind
Oh.
Johnny Cage and Sonya Blade.
Jennifer Carpenter. I read that name wrong, so I thought it was the voice of Kronika was going to be Sonya, but it's not. So wait, Jennifer. Why do I know Jennifer Carpenter?
She was on Dexter.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Supporting cast with Jordan Rodriguez as Liu Kang, Patrick Seitz as Scorpion, Hanzo, and Steve Bloom as Sub-Zero, Art Butler as Shang Tsung, Darren DePaul as Quan Chi, Robin Atkins Downs as Kano, David Mitchell as Raiden, Amadi as Jax. I don't know. There's a lot of people. I don't know. Most of these
I know
people.
Kevin Michael Richardson is. It's interesting that he's Goro. I think he was the voice of Goro in Ready Player One too, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, crazy!
I might be wrong about that. Somebody correct me. But Kevin Michael Richardson is also like a voiceover artist for like a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm excited about it to see what it is. It literally can't be any worse than the animated VHS tape that they released in the first movie. It is funny that they're going with the same marketing method. Movie's coming out. Let's put an animated short out.
So does Warner Brothers own this?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Oh my gosh. I feel sorry for you. I'm
Right?
sorry.
I thought that Warner and DC did good on the animated films.
Well, no, I'm talking about the movie.
Oh yeah. Oh, so actually, a little bit of like minor insider here. We won't say who, so we don't get anybody in trouble. But we have a couple friends that are tied to people that are in the movie, and their agents spoke very highly of the script.
Okay.
They said like they were also concerned about it, and then when they read the script, now that's not to say that they shot it like that.
Yeah.
But they said the script was like very impressive and not what they expected from like a Mortal Kombat like reboot thing. So, and they finished filming early, so it went well.
Yeah.
So fingers crossed that all that's true.
Well, it's so crazy because we haven't heard hardly anything about this. In the world of today, you want like all this extra information so people can the buzz can be building and talking about it. I've heard jack squat about this movie.
I guess
except from you.
But yeah, within the Mortal Kombat communities, like
Yeah.
if you're in the groups, you see the posts because each of the actors have actually been posting a lot from set.
Yeah.
But I think they timed it out too because they were already halfway done with the movie before they started announcing the cast. Like we were like, oh, they started shooting. Like, oh wait, they've been shooting.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, they should have like had this long press thing. They were like, hey, guess we casted who? Like almost like a DLC. Like, guess what?
Yeah.
We've got whoever is Sonya. Like, you know.
I'll bet because it's a lot of like fairly unknowns. I don't know if this is on purpose or not, but I'll bet that there's like somebody there who's thinking like, if we release stuff too early, people are just going to pan it because of how bad Annihilation was.
Yeah. But if you got people like, I know when we were talking about before, like who we'd think would be the best, that was last year at some point in time, who we thought would be the best. And even there was a bunch of pictures that we saw from, I can't remember the name of the company that does all the silly pictures, but they had, you know, who was Johnny Cage? I know that Jax was...
Oh, one of the American Gladiators.
No. It was, gosh, I can't remember his name.
I don't remember any of that stuff.
Oy.
Actually, I don't. Most of the cast I don't remember from the first one, except for Talisha Soto was Kitana. I don't even know if she did anything after that.
Who plays Star-Lord? Chris Pratt.
Oh, you mean like who the like? The,
who we thought would be
gotcha.
funny, like, you know, be
Yeah.
Star, or they had a picture of him
Johnny
as
Cage.
Johnny Cage
Chris Pratt as Johnny Cage.
Chris Pratt. So they had all these pictures.
Yeah, I could totally see it.
All these people, like if they would have had people like that, I feel like there would have been so much hype behind that.
Yeah,
At least just having Chris Pratt alone, I feel.
It doesn't sound like they have any like big stars in it on purpose.
Yeah.
I think they're going. I don't know. I say I think. I don't know, but I think they're going for like the success of the first movie was all unknowns.
Yeah.
Except for Christopher Lambert, and even him was kind of like the Highlander.
And he was barely in it. I feel like he was just here and there. Like, guess what,
yeah,
guys?
he was like the guide.
I'm your mentor.
Yeah.
But I don't know. So anyway, the short or whatever, the animated film or whatever that thing's going to be, the fact that it's called, nobody knows anything about it yet, but the fact that it's called Scorpion's Revenge is kind of exciting because we haven't heard anything from the classic Mortal Kombat story in like years. So hearing like that implies it's going to be like the Scorpion Sub-Zero rivalry.
Yeah.
And that's not, I don't think we've heard about that since maybe Mortal Kombat 3 or 4 or something like that. So that'll be kind of cool to like re-explore.
I remember that
This is
there
boss
was a
logic.
little bit about
Terry Crews was Jax.
Scorpion's story in the Sub-Zero Mythologies game.
Yeah.
That was like the first Mortal Kombat game that I played.
Really?
Yeah.
What a rough entry.
Yeah.
I loved it. I loved that game. It was so hard,
It's very difficult.
but I beat that mofo.
I I don't even think I got past the first level because that thing where the thing spins around, you have to land on it perfectly. Like there was like 20 of them, and
It was extremely hard.
Yeah, I mean, I just didn't like Mortal Kombat when I was little very much. Also, I
Yeah.
wasn't allowed to play it.
I loved it so much.
I was so into car racing games
Yeah.
that, you know, and you have Jimmy, my cousin Greg, and me were all real close. Jimmy was the fighter. Greg played like strategy games, and I played racing games, and that's how we grew up.
I mean, like, I didn't like those games required really, really good hand-to-eye, but also knowing, like,
Oh, the combos.
all the
and stuff.
combos and all that stuff. And I didn't really care about that. I would go over to the button mashers and be like,
Yeah.
I don't care. I'm having a good time.
See, I thought that I was good at that then. Now I stepped in MK11 competitive, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't know anything.
Oh,
Like,
jeez.
because
Those
these
guys
people
are
are like counting
monsters.
frames and stuff.
I was only ever good at Turtles Tournament Fighters, where I actually learned all that stuff. And that was partly because I tried to enter the Blockbuster Video Game World Championship.
Oh, nice.
I was fourth in my town, by the way.
Nice.
But
I don't know. Lawrence, what's his face? I can't. The guy who like made the Mortal Kombat movies. I guess he was quoted as saying he stopped by the Midway offices when MK1 was still in development, and he looked at it. He's like, "This is awesome. This is like Enter the Dragon meets Star Wars." And I'm like, "Yeah."
a little bit, yeah.
Like it's basically all your action figures thrown into a pile together. But like I think it was always the mystery and the stories behind it, because in between, like when you in between games, you'd see like the stories, you know, the characters, and if you put them all together, you got the entire lore.
Yeah. It's like He-Man versus Shredder.
Yeah.
Like the action figures, like, holy crap, what's going on?
Yeah.
So it was just like, man, you were trying to find all this stuff, and then there'd be rumors, and there was no internet, so these rumors would spread, and somehow like Ed Boon and John Tobias would find out about them, and then they made the rumors true. Like
Yeah.
all is crazy, you know. And then fast forward, I saw another item Josh had on the list was the Joker DLCs dropping this
Yeah.
week. I wasn't excited before, but I saw the trailer. Now I'm excited.
It's so weird, though, because I feel like, isn't this the same engine as the Justice League?
Like Injustice or whatever.
Yeah, Injustice. It feels like they're the same game almost.
So I think he mentions Injustice in some of his intros or whatever. This is a big deal because last time Joker was in a game of Mortal Kombat, they weren't allowed to do fatalities on him. So in this one, the Joker's just messed up.
Yeah.
Like it's not, if you're all easily offended, like he's not a good character to play.
Yeah.
Because the trailer, have you seen the trailer yet?
I have not.
So in the trailer, there's a point where he wheels someone out in a wheelchair who's like bagged over the head and stuff, and then rips him out of the wheelchair and throws it. The person is one of his special moves. He's just like supposed to be a sick person.
Okay.
And then another one where he can't get like the detonator to work on a bomb, and so like he pushes someone that's like with a bag over their head with a bomb strapped to him to the person like you're fighting to blow up. The fatality though is funny because he does a friendship. And then the sign, he makes it like a makeshift sign that appears above him. He gives him a birthday cake. And then he like shoots him up. And then the letters of friendship fall off the sign, says fatality, and cuts you in half. I was like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's funny.
I think he looks like he's a lot of fun. But the thing that was a surprise, like thing that I really loved is the skin. So there's skins that come with every DLC character.
Yeah.
Not attached to him really, but like somewhat related. So since it's the Joker, they have a DC pack coming. So Katana's gonna be Catwoman, which is like literally my two like enter puberty like entities in like one thing. It's like it would be an overload for like Teenage Rod, right? So Katana's Catwoman, awesome. Baraka is Killer Croc. Noob Saibot is the Batman Who Laughs, which is
No, that's creepy.
perfect. And also, he was rumored to the Batman Who Laughs was rumored to be a future DLC.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, that's too far off. And they made
That's
him
a
a
little out there.
skin, but it's awesome.
That's cool.
And then Garrus is Darkseid.
Very cool.
Be cool.
Yeah.
So I don't know. This is the second to last DLC, and the next one will be Spawn.
I can't wait for Spawn.
Spawn hasn't come out yet?
No, he's
We
in
talked about that
March.
like 4 podcasts ago.
Yeah, well, they announced all the DLC,
Yeah.
but they spread it
okay.
across like 6 months.
It's weird they would announce them all. Why didn't they just like announce one at a time? Like,
They
hey,
did,
guess what?
They did that for the first couple,
Yeah.
and then they announced the rest of the thing to
Okay.
like.
It was smart. I mean, they got me, so. And I'm not even a big fan.
Like, I don't know. I don't know too much about marketing, but whatever.
I think Ed Boon has been on Twitter saying like it wasn't his first choice to do it that way.
Yeah.
So heavily implying like Warner Brothers was like, let's stretch this out. But I'll give it to him. It does make the game feel new every 2 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because a guy like me who's like, that's literally the only game I play pretty much. Well, except now I'm starting to play Assassin's Creed. But at that time I was only playing Mortal Kombat. I was like, okay, well, I've unlocked everything I want to unlock. Oh, this Sindel's now.
It's
here.
funny, like, okay, going back to the movie and that Warner Brothers is doing it, they're the kind of people, normally they're like, we need to attach one of our famous actors that normally does this stuff to this movie. And that doesn't seem that they've done any of that for this movie, which could be cool.
Yeah.
Because it could be create like some, great paradox of like all these new people being amazing, or it could just be like, they just kick it to the curb. Like, give this a try.
Feels like an indie effort.
Yeah, like it's an indie movie.
James Wan is producing it, but he's not directing it. But the director has only ever done commercials before. People are kind of worried about it, but the screenplay writer, has been like active on Twitter and stuff from set and everything, and it's kind of said that like, don't be upset if your favorite characters aren't in this. I didn't want to overstuff the script.
Yeah,
with too many characters to make it bad.
Smart.
Once again, like our friend who's the agent that worked with some of the actors on there was like, it's a really good script. I was like, okay.
We'll be trying to. It'd be like trying to do Endgame, the very first movie.
That's true. Yeah.
Like you stuff all those characters, you have no attachment to any of them. You watch all 22 movies, and you have attachment to all of them.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that was something else. Something else completely.
Remember
how we joked about the Stargirl show?
Oh,
so I finally figured this out. Okay, so but back up. So last time Vince heard about this, I told him, I was like, so I watched a Stargirl trailer that was completely different, and it starred Grace Vanderwaal, and I was like, this doesn't look like the same show. And I was like, also, why is Grace Vanderwaal in this? And then I watched the trailer, and I was like, also, this is on Disney Plus, and her name is Stargirl, like her real name. And it didn't have any signs of being a superhero show once I finally watched the trailer. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. No.
So it's Grace Vanderwaal is the girl that won America's Got Talent. She played ukulele and sang and stuff. And I was like, that's cool. And it's still kind of like this mystery thing because it's this girl that kind of comes out of nowhere. Nobody knows where she's from, and she's quirky and she plays ukulele and sings and stuff. And I was
Not
like,
the same Stargirl.
So then I found out in the same time period, 2 separate Stargirl series or movies are coming out.
Yeah.
On 2 separate networks.
I don't know. I just know, like, I'd watched the Crisis on Infinite Earths, and then towards the end, they'd flashed a bunch of things of, like, other TV shows, including the Titans stuff. And this was one of them. We'll get back into the Crisis things in a minute, and definitely have stuff to talk about that. But, we'd watched this Stargirl. They had, like, a really short, like, teaser trailer, and then they pulled it off the internet immediately.
Gotcha.
And we'd watched it together, I think, 4 podcasts ago.
Yeah.
I believe they actually released a new trailer a couple weeks after that one, but I guess there's a new one now. So let's watch that one real quick.
Let's watch this, and then let's watch Grace Vanderwaal's too, so you can see what I saw. I was like so confused.
Okay, here we go. Okay, so we watched both trailers, and
on paper, but very similar. Like, new girl shows up at school. Nobody really knows her backgrounds. Maybe have superpowers.
Yeah.
But I mean, I know it's not the same story. I guess the Grace Vanderwaal one is based on a novel, like a young adult novel.
Okay.
From I don't know how long ago. But this is wild in the same time period.
Yeah.
Both are releasing.
They both have that. Well, I guess the one's a movie though. But I guess it's a streaming movie.
Yeah.
So it's like
a Disney. It's a Disney original.
We would call that straight to video in the old days. But I don't know. I feel like people are watching more movies at home than going out to anyway. But
not if they have A-list.
It might be true. What did you guys think of the other Stargirl? I mean, we only saw the beginning. We only saw, yeah.
I like that it's kind of owning its cheesiness.
Yes,
I like the cast.
Yeah,
Luke Wilson.
Luke Wilson is great because like he's supposed to be. Her mom gets married to this dude, and she doesn't know much about him, and he's cheesy and annoying. And so this is actually her comic is very new. I think she's 2003. I think was when she was made, and so
it's funny. That's new to us.
Yeah.
But when you think about it, it's like 17 years ago.
Well, if you think, like stuff that we'd watch, like Spider-Man was made in like the 60s. So,
yeah.
But anyway, yeah. And her dad's like supposed to be dumb and new, and she doesn't like him, but she finds the staff and the belt. The belt was supposed to be something important too. I'm not sure if they're going to make that important as well.
It was kind of cool that he was the sidekick, and that's why he has the staff.
Yeah.
And then that actor that it was the star guy, whatever.
Yeah.
I recognize him too from like everything freaking.
He almost looks like
WB.
A more sexy Joel McHale.
Oh,
does it?
That's funny. I don't know. Like, maybe it's because I'm getting older, but like I'm starting to have a lot more empathy for like shows that are catering towards like kids shows that are catering towards kids.
Yeah.
Now that's not super young, but like a teen thing is kind of like, what if you discovered your parent was a superhero? You know, like it's kind of a cool.
It's cool.
Like you find something.
It does seem good. Like before, I was a little upset. Like, it looks dumb. But like, I didn't know that Luke Wilson was in it. To be honest.
Yeah. Well, it still looks dumb, but like I think this looks more tolerable to me than the other CW stuff that I don't want to watch.
I agree with that, and it looks more fun.
Yeah.
But you know that eventually they're gonna like CW's like, we're running out of ideas here.
Let's give her a love interest.
Exactly, a horrible one.
I'm a fan of like weapons that resonate with certain people. Like in that trailer,
the staff.
Like, this staff should only resonate with Starman. And then obviously in the movie you'll learn why it resonates with her too or whatever.
I wonder how much they're gonna actually put into it, like money wise, because he's like an Iron Man character.
Starman?
He's Stripe. No, the dad.
Oh, okay,
the stepdad
gotcha.
is Stripe. So like,
The sidekick.
so it's supposed to be like Star and Stripes, that kind of deal. But
Yeah.
and it looks very like his Iron Man kind of armor looks like a mix between Iron Man and the Iron Giant.
It looked like a mech suit.
Yeah, it does kind of look more mech.
Like you see him push the button, the doors open to get in. I don't know. So far, like the weapon that only resonates with certain people and the mech suit have won me over because I'm a huge anime fan and both of those things are very prominent in anime.
That's true.
Especially in video games too. Like right now I'm playing Xenoblade Chronicles and you literally resonate with these core crystals that turn into weapons. So it's very similar to like the resonance.
I mean, I got for all the CW stuff, like they're even making more stuff. We talked about Lois and Clark last week, and of all the stuff on this, even the Flash, I'm more interested in this show now, just from that silly trailer, than I am of the Flash, even and the rest of the shows. I'd watched the Crisis on Infinite Earths last two shows. I'm just not impressed at all.
That was the nicest review I've heard so far from friends. I haven't watched any of them.
Yeah,
most of them are like, "Why did they even create this?"
I understand, and I'm glad that they tried because it's, they took a big giant comic book that's probably one of DC's more well-known comic book crossovers and tried to do it, which is just kind of funny. And then on top of it, we talk about they included the Flash from the Justice League in like a small short spot.
Oh, the Ezra Miller.
Yeah, Ezra Miller's
we
Justice
we finished recording last week, and then Josh texted us. He was like, "Oh, he just showed up in Crisis."
Yeah, I was like, we just talked about that movie being started again, and I guess what I read is that Warner Brothers, whoever's in charge of that movie, pushed for him being in the crossover. So I'm like, oh no!
I guess if there's a place
awful movie.
I guess if there's a place to like re-bring it up, that another awful thing.
Yeah, I have to watch it just to understand it.
Do you want to see it real quick? I'm sure they got the clip.
I saw the clip, the one part that obviously because I didn't watch the episode. Barry Allen from the TV says something about like, oh, he did the, or like he says like an incompleted sentence, and then Barry Allen from the movies is like, what did you show? And then he disappears.
Well, what he said is like, oh, I'm the Flash.
Yeah.
And the other Barry from the movie is like, the Flash, because he didn't even have a name in Justice League. He was never called the Flash, and so this was supposed to be like his naming point.
Oh,
I'm like, oh. But was weird to me because this whole the Crisis on Infinite Earth's whole storyline, correct me nerds if I'm wrong here, is basically all the multiverse. There's millions of different planets or whatever else, and they're all being destroyed. And at the very end, they are all destroyed. But what is able to be happened is they recreate like the planet again, but like just one. So it's basically what they did was they destroyed all the continuity the errors and crap that they had in the past in the comics, and they recreated the continuity into one new prime planet. And so like in this TV show, they were all from like different Earths kind of deal. So when they'd have to go get Supergirl, they'd have to go to a different multiverse to get her to use her. But now they all live together, which is weird to me because that means that all the other worlds were destroyed, except for this new one. So if the Flash from Justice League crossed over, that means his world was destroyed and he's no longer there.
And then he disappeared.
He disappeared, yeah.
Because of something. That's kind of another reason I want to watch is to figure out why he disappeared.
He just disappeared. Like, that's it. Like, he's like, oh, this is weird. Like, and that was it.
He just evaporates.
They touched each other's, like, armor really weird. Like, oh, yours is
this
nice and
smooth.
soft and smooth. Yeah.
Like, oh, this one's tactile.
It was To be honest, it was kind of a dumb crossover for me. I'm like, okay, why is he here? And it just broke down in the middle of the episode. Like, oh, hey, hi. Who are you?
Really?
Like, yeah, it didn't. That episode, last two episodes were just so jumbled. Like trying to get the story across, it just didn't do very well. Explanation.
Yeah.
They could have definitely consolidated some more stuff if they needed to.
It's like a lot of fan service more than it was a show.
Yeah,
Just
and it was supposed to be like a
everybody.
goodbye to Stephen Amell's Arrow.
Oh, yeah.
And like they had this whole part where like he's being another guy, the Spectre, and he's like basically, holding the anti-monitor up, and he's like, "You have failed this universe." And I'm like, oh gosh, man.
That's funny. I'm gonna write in here the Flashpoint,
Yeah. So
even though it wasn't.
it was just very lackluster to me. It was nice seeing them cross over. It's nice that they tried, but it just didn't work out well.
Yeah, I'll probably still try to watch just to watch, but
I don't like any of the other shows. Like the Legends of Tomorrow. I hope that stuff's gone soon. Not Arrow. What they seem to be like trying to push forward. Like his daughter's the new Green Arrow, which is just it just seems messy.
I just feel like they've kind of all hit the top, of the wave, and we're on like the waves crashing now.
Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do in the future, because if they want to keep crossing these people over, eventually they've got to either I guess they just recreate them. I don't know, like with different.
All of them, I feel like,
or-
had their heydays. Like the Flash, the first 2 seasons, I feel like was the best. And same with Arrow. Arrow's couple first seasons were amazing, and then just it got old.
I think when he was fighting Raish, it got weird, because I'm like, this is a Batman bad guy. Why is he fighting Ra's al Ghul and kills him?
And then it started to get interesting again when like time got weird, and then Arrow was like in the future, and there's Red Arrow now, and like.
Well, Red Arrow was cool. He was part of the first couple seasons too, and then I don't know if he was interested in doing other things, so he left the series. And
It just got kind of like.
it looks like he might be coming back now. I don't know.
It got messy.
Real messy.
Yeah. So yeah, I am interested in seeing what WB's future for superhero television is.
Yeah, it's funny you call it WB, because it used to be the WB
Yeah.
with Smallville, and then I think CW bought it, which is just funny.
Branding.
CW.
Actually, that's kind of a good segue for like a small piece of news. Did you see Disney is taking away Fox's branding?
Yep.
So it'll be just Searchlight Pictures and 20th Century Films.
Which is funny because they also bought a long time ago. Didn't they buy what was the one with all the art movies?
Oh, Miramax?
Miramax. They bought Miramax, but they haven't done jack squat with that. When was the last Miramax movie? Like 10, 15 years ago?
I honestly don't know. Also, wasn't that tied to Harvey Weinstein like heavily?
Yeah, but I mean, I think when they bought it, like he wasn't his
before
anymore.
that,
yeah.
It's been a long, long time ago now, but there was like a company that was taking old Miramax scripts. I forget the whole story around that anymore.
Yeah.
And I forget what they were doing. They were trying to like see if they were good enough to adapt to some other type medias.
Yeah. I mean, it seemed to start in 1992. Freddy the FRO's 7. No idea.
So this is funny.
Tom and Jerry the movie.
This is a little bit of a rewind to a little earlier when I was wondering Kevin Michael Richardson's the voice of Goro in the Scorpion short or the Scorpion movie. Ready Player One. He wasn't the voice of Goro in that, but he was the voice of Goro in the original Mortal Kombat movie.
Okay.
He also, like, if you look up his IMDb, is probably one of the most like active voiceover artists in Los Angeles because he's in everything.
Yeah.
like all the DC like animated stuff. Like he's in Rick and Morty. Like he's in everything. So
there's a few guys that like I can hear like all the time. Whenever they start talking, I'm like, oh, there's that one dude.
Imagine how I feel. I watch like thousands and thousands of hours of anime, and it's pretty much a lot of the same voices.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure it's got to be.
There's even like commercials that run where the main guy who's like the voice of Cowboy Bebop and like pretty much any and all the Toonami and like
Especially when they're dubbed over to English.
yeah, well he was just like the English dubs for all that. But it's funny because he totes himself as a voice monkey, and I always thought that was like a negative term for a voice actor.
Yeah, well, it might have used to be, but like nowadays, there's so many different adult shows alone. I mean, we used to only have The Simpsons as an adult show, and now we got friggin' all that crap. F is for Family, BoJack, all that garbage.
Disenchanted, and yeah, BoJack Horseman's hilarious. It's so dumb. It's hilarious.
The guy that voiced Raphael, I always hear him, Rob Paulson. Raphael from like the old.
Oh, he was also a Pinky in the Brain, right?
Yeah.
I think so. He's also. It's funny because he did Raphael in the original Ninja Turtles cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
He did Donatello in the 2012 one. So I was trying to look him up real quick because whenever I hear him, I'm like, oh, there's Rob Paulson.
Yeah.
But
He was Pinky, right? Yeah, he was Pinky.
Yeah, he was
He was Pinky because Brain was that one guy that always does Orson Welles.
yeah, he's Pinky.
Because it's funny, he's on Fine Brothers React, and it was the Animaniacs
He's
React.
also Yakko.
Yeah, he was on Animaniacs React to children reacting to Animaniacs. It was him and one of the other voiceover guys.
Yeah.
And then he was reacting to it in Pinky's voice.
Yeah.
Like, it was really funny.
That'd be funny to watch. Oh, he's in the new DuckTales.
Yeah.
DuckTales.
So yeah, he's in a million things. But yeah, whenever I hear certain guys, I'm like, I know him. Even my daughters are like, oh, I think it sounds like this other person. I'm like, yep. But we're talking about Miramax earlier. The last movie they did was Pokemon Destiny Deoxys. I don't know how to say that.
Don't remember that movie.
And it looks like the stuff before all that stuff. Okay, Finding Neverland seems to be in the last real movie.
That's interesting. And it's like a Disney kind of
Yeah.
like adjacent.
All these, like, there's another Pokemon.
Ella
There's a
Enchanted.
Bionicle 2. A lot of toy movies.
They did the old version of Wrinkle in Time.
Look at
Yeah.
that. Pokemon. What? Bionic. Beyblade. Looks
Yeah.
like all of the last movies they did were all like cartoon or toy
Which is
lines.
really funny because before I think they bought them, they did all these like very like
Serious
sexual
movies. Yeah.
stuff.
Well, it was an indie movie company, right?
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Oh,
Hold
Miramax
on.
Family Films.
Oh, it's Miramax Family.
Gotcha.
Let me go back down a little bit
I was
further.
gonna say that's so weird. That's all
Because they
the
did
films.
Clerks.
Yeah.
Or at least they whatever.
He distributed
Yeah,
Kevin
distributed.
Smith.
Yeah, from Dusk Till Dawn.
Yeah.
That movie was insane.
So yeah, it's just
That was like one of the first soundtrack CDs I bought.
But yeah, Fox like losing their branding. It's like the petty side of me is like, good, we're screwing with X-Men. But it is an interesting choice to kind of like take away their competitors' like presence, you know?
Yeah.
So that means like I guess besides Fox News and sports, it just doesn't exist anymore.
Is Fox News and Stores still Fox? Does Disney own it?
No, I thought those were separate.
Those separate? Okay, so
Yeah.
they just took the movies.
I think it was just a cinematics because I thought that sports and news were their own thing. Like I cannot even imagine. Can you imagine if Disney ran Fox News?
Yeah. No, I don't want to. Which is funny because I still think like Fox News is the most watched, but doesn't say anything about it. But like it's the most watched of all the cable ones.
Yeah.
So like
My
you figure that would
dad,
still
I
be
think,
doing pretty
loves
good.
Fox News.
Yeah, my entire
You know-
Republican family does.
You know what's interesting is, well, without judgment on that, the Bombshell came out, you know, and have you seen it?
Oh, you're talking about movie.
Yeah, the movie Bombshell.
Okay. I'm like, what Bombshell? Something happened?
So, well, it's also that because it outed a lot of stuff. I watched. If you go to Megyn Kelly's YouTube channel,
Yeah.
she took a group of women that were like portrayed in the movie to go watch the movie in a private screening, and then they all talked about it afterwards.
Oh, crazy.
And they had a couple criticisms of like specific moments that no one could have known what happened. But for the most part, they were like, yeah, that was it. And that's crazy coming from the inside out. You know, they were like, this is as bad as you think it is and worse. You know, like
I remember we saw it, and my whole thing was, you guys, you let us get away pretty easily, like men. I thought it was the movie should have been way worse, like depict men way worse.
So what's it about?
Roger Ailes is the guy that like who kind of
Yeah, he's
owned
Fox,
everything.
yeah.
And stuff, and it was about his casting room where he'd have girls come in and do like the 360. But so one of the things she said in there was some sexual stuff, but most of it was just like ogling the girl. Like not most of it. They like what they depicted in there was accurate into like the spin and stuff like that. But they said like the only thing they could have done more graphically is actually show a blowjob.
Yeah,
But she was like for the most part it was just the fact that they had to like show skin to get on TV. Was kind of their thing, and then their whole tactic, like of getting like hot women to deliver the news, was like it. So he is Roger Ailes is played by John Lithgow, who like completely transforms.
That's
like
weird.
I didn't even know it was him until after the fact.
Yeah.
And I don't know. This is, I'll make this short because it's not really like a nerdy thing, but
No.
like it just kind of deals with all the sexual harassment lawsuits in there. So I think Nicole Kidman plays Gretchen Clausen. I can't. I don't watch. So I don't know. She was the first one to come out with all this stuff, and then Charlize Theron plays Megyn Kelly, and then Margot Robbie plays like a conglomeration of like a bunch, like 12 different, like women's experiences in one. And it's weird because the scene that you see in the trailers is the three of them getting in the elevator, and it's that really quirky, creepy music and stuff, and it's a cool visual. But when these women who lived it real like saw that scene, they all like started bawling. So it had some other like visceral reaction of like what they had to do after they got out of that elevator.
Yeah. And
they said that was like the most accurate like thing they felt. I don't know. It was super interesting. But anyway, like I'll just say I think like Disney, even if they had acquired everything, they were like, you can keep that.
Fox, yeah, you can keep Fox.
Don't want that. But with Disney taking away the Fox branding on the cinematic side, this is going to be one of those things where we lived a moment of history that something changed. So like, I bet there's like people out there that are like old enough that remember when Nintendo was a paper company. Mm-hmm. They're like, when I was your age or something, I
don't know if they'd remember it because like that wasn't big enough in the news that.
Well, no, I mean like, or even when Michelin was like a travel guide company more than a tire company or something, we don't know it for that now. So like, there will be a time where people will like, Fox, the news thing. They're like, well, they used to make movies. Mm-hmm. Like we actually were here for that when they made it. It hasn't completely sunk in yet that Fox is just gone.
But I mean, like the TV stuff didn't start up to what 88, I think.
Okay.
I mean, and they led with The Simpsons.
Yeah.
They had that and Married with Children. Mm-hmm. So like they came out of the gates like, as a company, just like blazing. So
yeah, that's what I mean though. It's going to be weird because there's going to be starting like now on. There will be generations that will never know Fox as like an entertainment.
I mean, that was kind of our generation, I suppose. Because us growing up, anybody born in the late 80s or whatever. Mm-hmm. So
Truth.
But it's all going to be Fox. It's all going to be 20th Century and Spotlight
and Searchlight.
Or Searchlight.
Searchlight's when they buy up like the indies,
and
stuff. But yeah, it's 20th Century is like the dun 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 dun. Mm-hmm. So I don't know.
Weird.
It's gonna be interesting. I mean, obviously that's gonna be like decades and decades and decades from now.
They're gonna burn all the X-Men movies.
You know what? If they accidentally turned up missing with the Masters, would be the most upset about
it. Was like a few years ago when Universal had that fire, and I'm like, all these things burned. We couldn't get any. Like, yes, all the X-Men movies were also over there accidentally on the Universal lot.
They catch it. Kevin Feige's like throwing him into the fire.
Yeah, breaking windows to throw them in.
I keep seeing some like rumor that Patrick Stewart's met with Kevin Feige or something like that. I don't know if that's a real rumor or not. I hate all these rumor sites because like I feel like they keep rebranding. Mm-hmm. Like, we're no longer this, we're now this, and we seem a little bit more legit. So people just share all this stuff. So I don't know if it's real or not. I'll wait for Patrick Stewart meeting with Kevin
White
Feige.
People's Morgan Freeman.
I couldn't see him being Xavier anymore. He's just too old.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, as much as I love that casting, like I would be happy for them to find the next people, especially like unknowns. Because once again, like I think a lot of people forget Hugh Jackman was like fairly unknown until Wolverine.
Well, he didn't
happened.
do anything before Wolverine. He was a Broadway actor.
Yeah, so people in Broadway knew him. It's the same way of like, I guess people in Broadway knew Ariana Grande way before the rest of us did because she was in the Broadway world, and it's so like same way like. We knew Hugh Jackman, but I guess people in the Broadway scene were like, "Oh yeah, that guy. Wait, he's gonna be Wolverine."
I recorded Ariana Grande before she was.
Oh really?
I guess she was kind of big at the time. Victorious is a Nickelodeon show.
Okay, so that was like at the beginning of her come up.
Yeah, I mean she was the cute one on that show, and like it was funny because like I think it was the first season that we had done whatever she'd come into the recording studio just to record some music for that silly show, and I was like, why is this one girl like? Why is the main girl like the main girl? She's funny. She's like this little cute ditzy girl. Like, why isn't she the one that's like more popular? And literally like 2 years later, she was like boom, like explosion. Like, oh okay.
So funny. This reminded me of like another kind of circle back, but also Ariana Grande story. So when I was on my Mulan kick, and I looked back on the music video, I think for Reflection by Christina Aguilera, Ariana Grande is one of the top comments on there.
Oh, that's funny.
And apparently way before she blew up, because she was literally begging for subs. She was like, "Hey, I sing this on my YouTube channel too. Come check it out." And so like all the comments now are like, "Holy crap!" Like that. We've lived long enough in internet history where we've seen the before and everything like live.
She's like Ariana Grande, like when she started out, is like when she was young, when she started out.
It's funny because I was just curious, so I clicked on it. Obviously, the video's not there anymore.
Yeah.
But she's begging for subs. God knows how many subs she had at that time.
Yeah.
Now she has like 39.5 million subscribers on YouTube, and like Christina has like maybe 4 million, which is still a lot, but like wow, like things like changed. She was like, please come check my version out too. And then it's like, okay, you're doing fine.
Yeah.
Like literally 10 times more, but I don't know, wild.
Oh man. So we started out with the Stargirl stuff. It looks better. I'm glad that they. I was worried because when they dropped that little trailer and then they just completely brought it out of the internet again, like they erased it. And I was like, what the heck's going on?
That was kind of, if that was the first thing to see, I guess that would be kind of weird, especially as like adults.
It did look different.
Yeah.
It definitely didn't. I didn't see it as this funny looking. Yeah.
Like it was supposed to be like a hype. Like I was supposed to know who all those people were.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
and I was like, I don't.
When is this again?
Who? What?
Yeah.
Did you know that they're starting a Green Lantern series on HBO?
Sure. What?
HBO.
Yeah.
Please say
HBO
that Ryan
Max.
Reynolds is gonna make a cameo.
Who doesn't have their fingers in DC is my question.
Is HBO Warner Brothers?
Oh, I thought HBO was his own thing.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're under or on,
Like, wow.
or vice versa. Who knows?
DC is slutty. They just like, here, you do something with it.
You'd figure they want to keep it to themselves, or
I mean,
maybe put
yeah.
it on their deal. I mean, that's going to be a lot of CG, heck of a lot of CG.
I would think so.
But because apparently it's supposed to span several decades and primarily focus on 2 stories about Green Lanterns on Earth. So I'm guessing they're probably going to do Hal Jordan and John Stewart. Then
I didn't know this. So Time Warner owns HBO and Cinemax.
Okay, so there we go.
The reason I thought HBO was its own thing was because HBO like bought like Sesame Street and stuff. So I guess this must be this like tiered thing.
That's weird that they bought Sesame Street.
Right, and that wasn't. I heard a rumor it was like Sesame Street's going to go behind a paywall, which is like completely antithesis of what it was originally supposed to be, or something.
Yeah, that's weird.
Huh. So wow, yeah. So like literally, like Time Warner, AT&T, like owns like everything.
Yep.
And Disney.
So
So 2 companies own everything.
Shit.
According to this article, both of these original DC properties will be creating for HBO Max will be unlike anything seen on television. Oh, it's Berlanti. Oh, he did all the CW stuff.
So it'd be like a hyper drama.
HBO's got a reputation though. I wonder if that reputation is still around. I haven't actually watched any HBO stuff in a while.
Was HBO Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
So I didn't watch Game of Thrones. I didn't follow it religiously.
Yeah.
But I saw someone meme about it because I guess the general understanding is the finale was horrible.
Yeah.
So they said like the finale was so horrible that it was able to take a show that was like the top of cultural reference for a decade and then make it immediately irrelevant within 1 episode.
Yeah.
And it was like,
Well, it was a couple, but yeah.
I was like, wow, like if it was that bad, like, what are they going to do with all this other stuff?
I didn't watch the whole thing, but apparently they built up like so much to like, oh, it's going to be this big battle thing. And then it was like done like super quick. And it was at the very end. I feel like they rushed it.
That reminds me of the first season of Heroes.
Yeah, pretty much. But probably way worse because they had how many seasons beforehand building up to this. Yeah, I mean, that seems to be the general consensus. It was just rushed. And
Just ended.
I think the writers moved on to write some Star Wars stuff or something, or tried to.
Gotcha.
So I think they were trying to get out of the gates to get somewhere else.
Because what was it? That reminds me, I saw that like Watchmen first season ended, and they announced that they're not going to do a second season.
Yep.
But then I don't want spoilers, so I didn't look too much into it. But I saw like other people say like, well, at least it finished. So I was like, huh, okay.
Did it finish though?
Like I'm more inclined to watch it now.
Yeah.
That like if it wasn't like a cliffhanger, and they didn't end it horribly. Like I haven't heard people say like that was the worst ending of a season. I just heard like, well, it's over.
The thing, the sad thing about Watchmen is the writer Alan Moore doesn't get anything for it.
Yeah, because he said he didn't. It was supposed to be unfilmable, right?
Well, no, when he wrote it, it was everybody loved it. It was like a small series in the 80s, and he wrote it and everybody loved it. And I can't remember what it might have been DC that he published it through. I think it has to be DC because they have a crossover now. But he had signed some contract that basically said, okay, we have to produce this every so many years, or basically re-release this comic every so many years, or the rights revert back to him. And I think he just kind of assumed like the rights are going to revert back to me after we release this, after so long. But no, they just kept releasing it like every 4.5 years until the movie came out. He got nothing for the movie. He hasn't gotten anything else beyond that. I don't think anything for the TV show. And so I don't know. I can understand his bitterness, even though he's a really weird dude. So like,
well, I also kind of get his frustration with it because what was it? I saw that meme. It was like it was like a picture of like Rorschach, Rick Sanchez, like somebody else, and they were like, if you idolize these people, these characters, then you're missing the point. You know, so like people thinking like Rorschach's like awesome. He's like, he's supposed to be the cautionary tale. You know, like
why?
Like you're not supposed to like love. He's supposed to be like the overdoing it of like that trope. You know, kind of like well, there's a parallel like Rick and Morty. Like people idolize Rick. You can like him, but to be such a fanboy that you throw a fit at like McDonald's and stuff is the complete antithesis of like Rick's character and stuff. So it's kind of like that. Like the Watchmen, from what I understand, was supposed to be a parody of like overdone characters in comic books, and then people ended up loving them, and they were like, no.
Rorschach was definitely my favorite.
Yeah,
to be honest, because he had kind of a code that he stuck to, and that was the basically thing. Is, you know, in the face of death at the end, like they were trying, it's for the greater good kind of thing. It's like, I need to be truthful, you know, so I don't care. You better kill me now. So they did. So I don't know. I liked him the best because of that. And then the stuff still got out at the end, which is funny because he sent all the information out before he died.
I did like that little twist in the movie and the comics where he's like, you fools, I'm not some comic book villain. I did this an hour ago.
Yep. So, I don't know.
It's a cool way to go about it.
You know, it's a great comic. And the movie is not too bad either. But
I dig the movie. Like, I thought they actually did a pretty, like, kind of timeless job with it.
Yeah, and it's definitely, if you haven't seen Watchmen, it's definitely a good movie because it's that point in cinematic history where people go, we can do the yellow spandex because there's so many weird stuff going on in Watchmen that you have to.
That was a long movie too, wasn't it? Some 3 hours.
At least at the time. I think there's even a director's cut that's longer.
The director's cut's like 3 or 4 hours long.
So
because they added the Black Freighter back into it.
Yeah,
and
they got I think they have an anime thing in the middle of it too, kind of like Kill Bill. Okay.
Wasn't that the? Oh no, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
that was something else.
Like a cut.
And what was it? Like the places they went to like all the corners of like the characters, you know, because as kids, like we would read X-Men and stuff, and things would get like kind of violent and things, but we never got into like the real lives characters. So these ones we see like, what was it? The Owl.
Owlman.
Yeah, like him like being kind of like impudent almost, you know, like and stuff,
crap,
and then like this weird I remember like watching it like, oh cool, this kind of reminds me of a cross between like the X-Men movies and like the old Batman movies and stuff.
I said Night Owl Man is Night Owl.
It was kind of a mix of like old comic book movies and then current ones at the time, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere it's just Night Owl's butt. It's like, oh, we're going into this side now, like, and then that sex scene. I think it's the Night Owl and Silk Spectre.
And
then it was like Leonard Cohen's like Hallelujah. I'm like, I've never listened to that song the same way
such
since.
An odd,
but I get it. Like it was just like, wow, they just like went to all these like corners, you know, with the
Silk Spectre. She looked so good though. Oh, that costume and everything. Oh,
whoa! Somebody's stomping around upstairs. Geez, settle down. He's like, Silk Spectre. I need to go watch that again.
I saw like a little spoiler for Silk Spectre in the TV show. I'm like, wow, they went even further in this TV show.
Oh gosh. Anyway, a little bit of Star Wars stuff. Did you see the picture with George Lucas and Baby Yoda?
No.
Oh yeah.
Apparently that's making the rounds.
He was on set when all that stuff was happening, right?
I don't know. Here's a picture. It's got. I'll put a link in the show with it. Look, Jon Favreau posted a picture with George Lucas and Baby Yoda.
So cute.
I love that. You ever see that picture of him, like when he sold it to Disney? They kind of made him like stand next to all the Disney characters with the lightsaber. Oh my gosh, he looks so depressed. He looks like he's like, I just sold all this stuff to the devil. George Lucas Disney picture. I'm sure it's got to be like the first one that comes out. There it is. Hold on, here we go. This one right here. No, come on, go back. There it is.
That's so funny.
He's like, oh Gosh, they made
What did I do?
R2D2 into
And it's like accented by like how all the character costumes are over smiling. I love that Donald Duck's the stormtrooper.
Well, he's supposed to be Han, right?
Oh, is he?
Yeah, kind of. Like,
Oh, because okay, gotcha. I just saw like the armor.
yeah. Well, I mean, I think when he was hiding as the stormtrooper. Yeah. Anyway, Goofy's supposed to be. Oh gosh, that's so good.
Wait, Goofy's Darth Vader.
Darth Vader. Yeah.
Now I'm just picturing a friend Brock Baker doing like Darth Vader as Goofy.
Mm-hmm. They talked a little bit about Moff Gideon being in the Mandalorian a lot more.
Yeah, we still don't know why.
Well, he's got the dark saber, so
Yeah,
it's pretty awesome.
but I mean, like we don't know the motive behind getting the child, you know. So
Yeah.
we need
So,
more.
but he's going to be in the next season a lot more because he was only in
Gotcha.
the last 2 episodes.
That was it.
Yeah, he was like the purple man.
Yeah.
Of this, we just heard a lot about him.
Like, what the heck? But yeah, I'm excited. It's pretty sweet.
Just excited for a new season of that
Yeah.
And,
in a year.
You're gonna
Exactly.
have to in a year resubscribe, Josh.
Yeah, that's true. Whenever the next was a WandaVision, whatever big thing comes out that looks good, I'll subscribe again. But like, we have Hulu, we've got Netflix, and I don't want to pay for anymore. You know,
Yeah.
we started doing the Dave Ramsey thing. So the other was it this last week. So all right, we're gonna try to get rid of everything we can. You know, as get a small amount as we can of paying for things that we don't need.
Mm-hmm.
So Netflix, all right, fine. Hulu, okay.
I got the little secret. Every Black Friday, Hulu does some crazy deals. I got that this year.
It's attached to Spotify. So I pay $9.99 for Spotify. I get whatever regular Hulu is for free.
Gotcha.
But
Well, that's cool.
Hulu from this Black Friday was $1.99.
yeah.
Yep.
Not as good as deals the first year. It was 99 cents.
Yeah.
Oh, it was funny. They try to keep everybody on by saying everybody who got the 99-cent deal last year, this year can get a free Google Home.
Oh, weird. I got one of the Google Minis for free.
Oh, with Spotify.
Yeah, for Spotify.
Yeah, there's some deal
as well.
going on there because also at every store, every Black Friday sale is like, this is only $50 now.
I want to put all these in your homes and record you all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the last thing I want is a recording device from any company.
Seriously. I was like yelling at my kids the other night, like, crap. Like, they're all listening, I'm sure. I'll take them away.
Our friend Megan Tonjes, her roommate Keith got I think it was an Alexa. Yeah, it was an Alexa in the house. And so I guess when she was home alone, she would just start like fucking with it, like asking it weird things and stuff, not knowing that it attached to her roommate's like Amazon account. So at the time, Keith was an editor for Phil DeFranco. So he'd be at work seeing on his list all the requests. And so he just screen capped it and posted it on Instagram. It's like, just in case you want to know what Megan Tonjes does when she's home alone.
Oh, man. There's some great videos of people like asking it questions, or like there's this one where a kid's like said something and it didn't understand him, and it started like listing off like nasty porn stuff.
Yeah,
and the parents are like, stop.
Shut up.
They have kid versions now, I think.
Oh,
that
man.
automatically filters that stuff out.
Oh, I'm sure.
But-
Because the first thing Penny does is like play this Phineas and Ferb song, like whenever she walks up next to
Yeah.
it. I actually have it. I think it's in the car right now because I was trying to see if it would just be a Bluetooth speaker.
Yeah. Does it?
I haven't tried it yet.
Oh, gotcha.
I had the wrong plug. So
Okay.
if it is, I was like, sweet, free Bluetooth speaker.
All right.
Because I really don't like that kind of stuff. There's been so many things of like, there's so many reports of like people that work at these companies starting screwing with people. Like, hey, I'm gonna kill you, and they're like, what?
Oh,
You know,
jeez.
like,
What?
I mean,
Yeah.
it's funny, but I laugh now. But like, dude, that would be the scariest crap on earth if all of a
Yeah.
sudden it's like, hey, psst, guess what?
Yeah, it's a little weird.
Yeah,
Just a little.
I'm kind of scared of that crap. But
I don't like that.
for the last thing here, we got Wyatt Russell, who plays John Walker, aka U.S. Agent in a Falcon, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Has got some photographs up here. So he's supposed to be kind of like Captain America, but like super a-hole, like not, not have a good moral compass. So he's still kind of an Avenger, but I'm sure they're gonna play him off as like a bad guy in this,
Gotcha.
to where he's just an absolute a-hole. So, and he's actually one of the guys where they, in the comics, they're like, we should make him Captain America.
Yeah.
And
I was going to say that.
I think they do at some point in time for a little bit, but
I had all his the cards, Marvel cards.
I have Marvel cards. I thought this was a newer thing, but yeah.
U.S. Agent.
Well, I mean, for the Captain America thing.
Oh, I was just
But
saying.
yeah, the card, yeah.
from
He's
like
been- I think
80s.
he's in the 80s, yeah. So yeah, I guess
have the U.S. Agent card.
I just keep, my time frame is weird. feel like,
I never read his
80s,
comics,
2006.
Yeah, it's funny. The 80s was 3 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. And so was 2006. And so was 3 years ago.
It's funny. We were listening to some Alanis Morissette stuff a few days ago. I was like, oh, let's listen to her acoustic album because she did it as like a 10-year anniversary, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, that 10-year anniversary was like 15 years ago.
Yeah.
the album's like almost 25 years old
Yeah.
now.
Well, a lot of things were like what Green Day's Dookie was like
all that
25.
stuff's turning
and
25 this year.
I'm so old. Gosh dang it.
Yeah.
Miramax isn't a company anymore. Well,
Yeah,
guys,
it's pretty nuts.
we talked about a lot of stupid crap. And
It's a long list.
yeah.
Yeah, we got some gear coming. Hopefully, in a couple months here. So we're excited about that.
Oh, podcast stuff?
Yeah, some
Yeah.
podcast stuff.
Someone gave us some free podcast stuff.
Yeah.
We didn't really talk about NAMM too much because this is nerdcast, not
Yeah.
really.
We'll be having some sponsors here soon, so that'll be helpful.
Yay. We can actually be a real podcast.
So for you guys that
real
still tune in
podcast.
every week on Podbean and guys that watch on YouTube, wherever you guys is listening, let us know how you're listening and why you're listening.
Keep sharing and commenting
man.
and rating and stuff.
Yeah.
Let people know about it too if you think they'd be interested in three casuals talking about random shit.
Truth. Because it takes a lot to actually put this out every week, guys.
I know, and we appreciate y'all.
And my kids are screaming in the back. All right. Love you guys.
Peace.